Hey, this is Mark with the Practical Still. It's time to open up another bottle. This one has actually been opened, but just a little, so I think it still counts as an open the bottle video. Dan gave this to me as a gift during the last time we were recording a podcast, so we had to open it at that moment. It was really good. I've not had this before, so I was pretty excited to try it. So this is Peerless, small batch Kentucky straight rye whiskey, 110.4 proof. It is barrel proof, and non-chill filtered, which is awesome. So this is going to be good. It was really good when we tasted it the other day. I can't wait to try it again. I haven't opened it since then, so it's still truly an open the bottle experience. Cool thing about Peerless, this is an old company. This was a company that was a DSP 50, so one of the first licensed distillers in the state of Kentucky back in the 1800s. The family revived that, was able to retain that DSP number. Because I think today, if you started a distillery in Kentucky, your DSP number would be in the 20,000 range. There's a bunch of distilleries that have come and gone since the 1800s, of course. So, and the other thing cool they do is sweet mash versus sour mash. So in a sour mash, they take some of the spent mash from a batch and they put it back into the next batch coming. And that spent mash helps with pH levels and consistency and all that stuff. These guys do sweet mash, which means every time they distill a run of whiskey, it's a fresh run of whiskey with no mash put back in it from previous batches. So that's kind of cool. I don't know that I can recognize that. Maybe somebody could recognize that. You just take a sip of whiskey, go, oh, that's sweet mash. I don't think I can. But this is good. These guys have been around for a while. They did it different too. So a lot of distilleries that are starting up will source or make gin or vodka or whatever while they're waiting for the whiskey to mature. These guys didn't do that. They came out with the rye at a 2-year-old product at $100, and of course got beat up pretty good for that because $100 for a 2-year-old whiskey is kind of tough to take. This one's gotten to 4. We know it's at 4 at least because it has no age statement, and a straight whiskey would need an age statement if it was younger than 4. They also do other things, like they spend more money on bottles and toppers than I think anybody. The toppers are super heavy, natural corks. The little bottles look like little barrels. It's just beautiful. So it's fun. So let's give it a try. Lovely. So it's super dark in the bottle. It does not seem that dark when in the glass, but it's got a lovely coppery color. The nose is beautiful. There's very little heat. I mean, almost imperceptible heat on the nose. And it's just candied and sugars and cinnamon and citrus. Oh, goodness. It's just so bright. For sure, rye. I mean, you get a little bit of that, I don't know which mint, maybe spearmint. You get that minty, herbal sort of rye note up front. I don't know if it's baking spices or bread, probably just a rye bread flavor. But what's weird about it, and pleasantly weird that is that there's it's fruity. There's certainly citrus, but it's just a fruity mid-palate, which is, to me, it's a little unusual for rye. So I was, as we know from other videos, incredibly impressed with the bourbon, the Peerless bourbon. This just picks it up, and as it sits, that rye flavor note you get from a very rye-based whiskey, that herbal, herbal, vegetal kind of thing. It's back there. But I couldn't find exactly what the mash bill is. Everything I found said undisclosed. Some people hinted that it was one of those that's just barely a rye, but they certainly taste like there's more rye in it than that. But either way, it's delicious. I didn't spend too much time looking for the mash bill because who cares? It tastes good. So, and this one, I'd never seen this one for less than 100. Dan did not tell me what he paid for it, but he looked at me funny and said I didn't pay anywhere near 100 for that. So I'm thinking in the 80, 85 range. That's a lot for a 4-year-old product of any kind. Rye is harder to distill. I think rye ages quicker from the standpoint that the rye grain itself has more of the flavors we're looking for as whiskey geeks than corn itself, which is why they call rye and wheat and barley the flavoring grains in bourbon. So I do think you get a better experience out of a young rye whiskey than maybe a young bourbon. But then again, their bourbon was fabulous and it's 4 years old too. So If the price doesn't scare you off, because there's plenty of other ryes you can get that are probably this good. This is not going to blow my mind, but it is very tasty. A lot of the ryes you can get in the 4, 5, 6-year-old range, Pikesville, the Wild Turkey 101, Rittenhouse, the new Elijah Craig. Of course, all those are the same company. But there's a lot of ryes you can get in there, a whole host of MGP-produced ryes in that range. So it's kind of a lot. Let me live with it for a while and see if I think it's worth that kind of money. Luckily, Dan paid for this one, so I'm going to drink with reckless abandon on it and just have fun with it. You do the same. Cheers.